Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. I'm Chris Thomas. We're tracking breaking news. At least 2 people are dead after a shooting. It happened outside the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino in Reno. The Sparks Police Department is planning to give an update any moment now, and we will take you there live. But first, here's what we know so far. Just before 7:30 this morning, hotel guests heard several shots coming from the valet area of the resort. Witnesses say that's when people started running. Investigators say the Reno Police Department arrived on scene within 2.5 minutes. They found the suspect and there was a shooting involving police. They say that suspect is now in custody and was taken to the hospital. I want to show you some videos from the area. People watch this disturbing scene from their hotel. Police say multiple people have been injured, but the exact number remains unclear, as some are believed to have gone to the hospital on their own. Some police may even also have minor injuries. As for the suspect, they have not been identified, and the motive is just not clear at this time. It's still very early in the investigation. Keep in mind the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino is located just north of the Reno airport. It's one of the tallest buildings in Reno with nearly 2,000 hotel rooms. It's a well-known venue hosting concerts and sporting events. President Trump also held a campaign rally at the hotel leading up to the 2024 election. I want you to take a look. The casino did release this statement today, saying in part, "We are heartbroken by the senseless violence that occurred in our parking area earlier today. Our thoughts are with the victims and all those affected by this tragic incident. We are incredibly grateful for the swift and courageous response by our armed security team, whose immediate actions helped prevent further harm." Now, they also say Grand Sierra Resort remains fully operational, and we are actively working to support guests and team members who may have been impacted. There is no ongoing threat to the public at this time. Now, again, that is the statement coming from Grand Sierra Resort. We do have a live picture from the scene, I'm told. There you see, that is where they will hold the press conference any moment now. We expect to hear from at least 6 speakers. That includes the mayor of Reno, who's also expected to talk, as is the casino representative. I do want to turn now to that casino with the very latest update from the news conference. Of course, we'll be following this throughout the evening, and we'll bring it to you live right here on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app as soon as they step there to the podium. I should also tell you that we do have a crew there on scene. They've been working to gather the very latest information about exactly what happened. The very scary portion of this is that, as we mentioned to you, many people were actually sitting in their hotel room. They heard those gunshots and they thought, my goodness, what is that? And so they looked out and they started taking videos with their phones, as you see here. This is an example of some of the videos that we have gotten from people who were actually there on scene. They were trying to determine what had exactly happened. Was this indeed an active shooter scenario? Several police were able to respond, we're told, within about 2.5 minutes. They were there on scene. We're working to confirm information that perhaps even police may have minor injuries after this shooting. We're expected to learn the very latest update from the press conference any moment now. Let's go out there live if we can and see if we cannot get an update from officials there on scene who are now starting, I'm watching with you, to step up to the podium to give us the very latest information on what has happened today in Reno. Let's listen in.
I'm going to ask you to go to the other side after I told you to go to this side. I'm going to be obtuse and do that. So if you don't mind just coming over here. Yeah, you can stay here on this side. It's fine. And then we'll go ahead and get started if we're ready. Confirming we're ready? Okay. Now I feel very tall because I'm on the apple box. Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Myself and my colleagues are here to provide you an update about this morning's critical incident. At this point in time, we will be providing several different statements from different members of our team that are here. However, we will not be taking questions. At this time, it is an active and ongoing investigation. I want to start with my deepest condolences to the victims and their families. as well as to our entire community. Tragedies like this are horrific for any community to endure, not just for the victims, the first responders, and the people who are there, but for everyone who calls our community home. Violence is not acceptable, especially in our public spaces. Everyone has the right to be safe here, and we are committed to ensuring the safety in our city. I want to be clear, the suspect is to blame for this incident. His actions is responsible for the tragedies that he created. This morning at 7:25, Reno police officers responded to the Grand Sierra Resort on the report of an active shooter. Within 2.5 minutes, our PD officers arrived on scene and were able to locate the suspect on the northwest side of the property in the parking lot. The suspect confronted these responding officers with a firearm, and an officer-involved shooting occurred. The bravery and rapid response by our officers stopped the suspect's rampage on innocent victims, which definitely saved lives and prevented additional people from being victimized. Officers and personnel from the GSR provided medical aid to the victims until Reno Fire Department and REMSA arrived on scene. The quick response by these skilled medical professionals ensured immediate treatment and transportation without hesitation to local hospitals. During the incident, one officer sustained minor injuries, most likely from glass fragments. This was the only physical injury our officers received during the incident. Officers, deputies from the Reno Police Department, Washoe County Sheriff's Office, Nevada Highway Patrol, Nevada State Police, Nevada Parole and Probation, Sparks Police, and several federal agencies responded to the scene. I cannot thank our first responders and GSR personnel enough for their rapid response and help in ensuring the victims of this tragedy received instantaneous help. The Sparks Police Department will be the primary investigating agency for the officer-involved shooting and the active shooter investigation. And this is part of our county-wide protocol for officer-involved incidents. I would now like to introduce Chief Crawford with the Sparks Police Department to provide more details about the investigation.
Good afternoon. I will provide you information about this incident that is known at this time. The unidentified male suspect was observed walking onto the parking lot of the GSR from the north part of the property. The suspect continued walking on foot to the valet area of the GSR. Once at valet, the suspect produced a handgun and pointed it at a group of victims. The suspect's firearm malfunctioned, however, he was able to make it operable. Once operable, the suspect fired multiple times at the group of victims at valet. In total, 5 people in the valet area sustained gunshot wounds, and 1 victim was pronounced deceased on scene. 4 other victims were transported to a local area hospital. Of those 4 victims, 1 was declared deceased at the hospital, 2 victims remain in critical condition, and 1 has been released from the hospital. It was later determined that the suspect had multiple firearm magazines with him at the time of the shootings. The suspect then fled back north through the parking lot, at which time a GSR security officer located the suspect in the parking lot, and the suspect opened fire on the security guard. The security officer returned fire at the suspect. The suspect then continued fleeing north through the parking lot. Another victim was driving through the parking lot, and the suspect opened fire on this person, striking the victim. That victim was pronounced deceased on the scene. Reno police officers arrived on scene and located the suspect, where he fired upon officers, striking a patrol vehicle. An officer-involved shooting then occurred. Multiple officers from the Reno Police Department discharged their firearms, striking the suspect. The suspect was taken into custody and transported to a local area hospital, where he remains in critical condition. In total, 6 victims were shot. 3 of them are now deceased, 2 remain in critical condition, and 1 was released. At this time, we have no reason to believe there is a connection between any of the victims and the suspect, and we have no known motive by the suspect. Our condolences to all persons involved in this tragic incident, especially to the family members of the deceased. The Sparks Police Department is lead on the investigation and will be assisted by the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. This is an active investigation. Any new information related to the investigation will be released by the Sparks Police Department through written communication when possible. You want to do it or you want me? And we will bring up Reno Mayor Hillary Sheevey.
On behalf of the city of Reno, we want to sincerely express our condolences, our heartfelt prayers to everyone that has been impacted in this situation, especially friends, family, and loved ones. That is really important to stay focused on in times of severe tragedy. I want to say thank you so much to our first responders. As you could hear from the comments from Chief Crawford and Chief Nance, there was incredible, swift action that took place, and it apprehended this individual from going into the building. That is really, really remarkable. I want to say thank you so much to all of you, and we're so fortunate to have all the jurisdictions that were there hand in hand working with each other. I want to say thank you to my city manager's department, J.W. Hodge, Jackie Bryant, the governor's office, Chief Nance, Chief Crawford. Thank you for, we have been in contact all morning long, and it's weighing heavily on everyone's hearts. So I'm so grateful for the swift action of our first responders. We can't thank you enough. We're so fortunate to have the police department and the region's best that we have right here. Last but not least, I do want to give a reminder that life is very, very fragile. So please tell your family, your loved ones, your friends that you love them every day, because life can be very unpredictable. So I just want to thank all of you, all of the media, my team, and the GSR. I do want to point out we have been very fortunate to have a very close relationship with the GSR and their security team. I know that we have had that relationship for a long time, so I'm very grateful to their swift action as well. They have worked with our law enforcement for a very long time, and I think because everyone was so well trained that we were very fortunate. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here.
Good afternoon. I'm Dave Cochran. I am the Reno Fire Chief. The fire department's involvement in this began when we were notified at Engine 21, which is the station essentially across the parking lot from the GSR. Citizen notified us of a potential shooting event. Engine 21 responded immediately, extremely short response time, immediately upgraded the call as well, which means they asked for additional resources. So we sent Engine 1, Ladder 1, a battalion chief, and a safety officer in addition to Engine 21. So we had a total of 16 people on scene. They staged in the area until RPD secured the scene, and then immediately responded in. Took them less than 30 seconds to begin assessing and treating patients. After doing so, or as they did so, we had 3 firefighters who assisted with transports, the ambulances that brought victims to the hospital to provide treatment while en route to the hospital. Thank you, and I think next up is, I would like to also express the condolences on behalf of the Reno Fire Department, and our thoughts are with everybody, especially the families who were involved in this incident. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Todd Kerfoot, Director of EMS Operations at Remsa Health. Remsa Health shares the community's sadness at this morning's critical incident at the Grand Sierra, and we are keeping those affected by this event in our thoughts. I can share some patient care and transport information, but I'm limited in the amount of details due to patient privacy. Remsa Health's dispatch center received the call at 7:25 for gunshot wounds and an active shooter, possibly with 2 patients. Immediately, 2 ambulances were sent, as well as the on-duty EMS supervisor. The first unit was staged at 7:29, and at 7:32, Reno Police advised we were clear to enter the scene. At that time, an additional 4 units were requested. In total, 9 ambulances responded, including 1 from Truckee Meadows and 1 from Reno Fire. Remsa Health transported 4 patients from the scene, 1 of which was the suspect. 3 other patients with minor injuries declined transport. 2 patients were deceased. Upon arrival of our crews, were not transported. The patients who were transported had injuries consistent with gunshot wounds. The first unit on scene was there within 4 minutes. Scene and transport times were minimized, and crews were focused on providing life-saving interventions and prioritizing rapid transport of the patients to the trauma center. I want to express appreciation to the Remsa Health crews for demonstrating clinical and operational excellence during a demanding and dynamic situation. Thank you too to the Reno Fire Department, Truckee Meadows Fire, North Lake Fire Protection District for their roles in the event as well. We're proud to serve alongside these regional law enforcement and fire departments and to be entrusted by the community to provide medical care and transport during difficult moments like this. Thank you. And I would like to introduce Shannon Keel from Grand Sierra.
Good afternoon. Just like all the other agencies, first I want to express our deepest sympathy to those affected by this morning's tragic event. Our hearts are with the victims and their loved ones during this incredibly difficult time. We are grateful for the swift response from the Reno Police Department and all the other agencies up here today, as well as our emergency personnel. Their quick action, minutes, I have to emphasize, helped bring the situation under control before more lives were at risk. I also want to recognize the immediate and brave response from the GSR Armed Security Officer Team. This specially trained team has been in place at GSR for years and is on site 24/7 to support the safety of our guests and team members. They responded within minutes. In addition, GSR employs a department of trained EMT team members who rendered medical aid to the victims in those critical early moments. Their courage, training, and compassion made a real difference today. The incident occurred outside of the building, in the parking areas, not related to any GSR activities. There is no ongoing threat to the public, and the resort remains open and operational. We are focused on supporting anyone who may have been impacted, including our guests and team members. Your safety has always and will remain a priority. We are fully cooperating with all law enforcement agencies involved. We are extremely appreciative for the ongoing teamwork and cooperation between GSR and all of these local agencies. We thank the committee, the community, GSR team members, any guests that were at GSR today for their concern and support. While this has been a difficult day, we remain committed to creating a safe, welcoming environment for anyone who chooses to spend their time at Grand Sierra Resort. Thank you.
Within a few weeks, the video of the officer-involved shooting will be released to our community. We would like to ask all of you and our community members to have patience as these investigations are in-depth and do take time. Any witnesses or anyone who has information regarding this incident who has not already spoken with officers, please contact the Sparks Police Department. Any additional questions regarding the investigation should be directed at the Sparks Police Department, and as new information becomes available, we will provide that to you. Thank you all for being here, and we appreciate your support during this time.
Well, you have been listening live to an update from police as well as investigators about that deadly shooting at a casino in Reno today. And here's what we know right now. Just before 7:30 this morning, hotel guests heard several shots coming from the valet area of the resort. Witnesses say that's when people started running, and investigators say the Reno Police Department arrived on scene within 2.5 minutes of that shooting. They found the suspect, and there was a shooting involving police. They say that suspect is now in custody and has been taken to the hospital. We do have videos from the area as people actually watch the scene from their hotel. Here's the latest update that we learned from this news conference. We now know that 6 people were shot at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno. Sadly, we have learned that 3 people are dead, 2 people still in critical condition as we speak. We do know that miraculously 1 person has been released from the hospital. We're told there is no connection between the suspect and the victims, and the motive is still unclear because it's just so early in the investigation right now. There are the videos that people shot from their hotel room as this scene was unfolding. Now, we do have a live reporter there on scene who's been working to gather information. So I want to go out to our Becca Habeger. And Becca, I understand that at least 1 officer was also injured, perhaps from glass fragments, they were saying.
Yeah, Chris, the law enforcement officials here today said it's incredible and wonderful that not more people were injured in this incident, especially the law enforcement officers who responded within minutes. They say it's incredible that only one officer was hurt. And as you said, yes, they believe it might have been from a glass shrapnel from the back and forth fire exchange between the suspect and officers. So only one officer injured. As you mentioned, there are altogether 6 who were injured. 3 are deceased. 2 are in critical condition. 1 has been released from the hospital. That is a bright spot in all of this. That's one of the injured is released. The suspect himself is in critical condition right now. They were not taking questions. I tried to ask if any of the victims are employees of the casino. They did not acknowledge or answer my questions. They walked out of the room when they were done with the news conference. We did hear from the Reno mayor today, Hillary Sheevy. She said she is so grateful for the quick response of first responders. All of these law enforcement officers and leaders said that it really came down to the as I said, quick response of these officers. That's the reason why there were not more victims in this case. Although, of course, as you mentioned, 6 victims altogether, 3 deceased, 2 in critical condition, 1 released from the hospital. We learned today that also the shooter's handgun malfunctioned. So law enforcement officers were called to the casino around 7:25 this morning. That's when they heard the active shooter call. They responded. They immediately were met with the shooter, and the shooter's handgun malfunctioned. But then the shooter was able to get his gun to work and shot 5 people in the valet area. From there, he ran to the parking lot area, shot another person there. The person shot in the parking lot, and 2 of the people in the valet area are among those deceased. Right now, as you said, Chris, there is no known motive, no known connection between the suspect and the victims. The officials here say that they will be releasing the names of victims in coming weeks and ask for the community's patience as they continue on with this investigation. But bottom line, Chris, they say there's no ongoing threat to the community at this time. So, of course, ABC 10 News will have the latest for you on this investigation tonight at 5, 6, 6:30, and then 11 o'clock. And we'll continue following this sad story here in Reno. For now, live in Reno, I'm Becca Habiger for ABC 10 News.
Becca, we do thank you for that live update. And of course, stay with ABC 10 for breaking news coverage. You can download the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app to your TV. We'll have the latest update coming up on ABC 10 News at 5.